Greetings, everyone. P. Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of the show. We realize it's been quite a long time, and we have not been here on YouTube all that much in recent months. It's been a ridiculously crazy and busy last couple of months, really since the summer began. And both myself and Bill have lots of things going on away from YouTube that have conflicted with us being able to get together and bring you programming here on Comic Book Geezers. And that probably will continue for at least a little bit longer till we can kind of carve out some time to not only read and get more comic books, but just find the time to meet and record some episodes. It's been a little nuts with day jobs and elderly parents and my other YouTube channel, Sea of Tranquility, obviously. So we thank you for your patience. Like I said, it's been very little content here over the last 3 months or so. I'm going to try and get you little snippets here and there if I can, but I got one for you today. So first episode in a while. So it's an Inside the Cover episode. We're going to take a look at an oldie but a goodie from, what was this, 1965, the year before I was born. Avengers issue number 16. Look at that. Spectacular special issue, the start of a great new Avengers lineup. This is a very notable issue in that this would solidify the new Avengers team going forward for a bit. Right, so this is basically the issue where you have Thor, Iron Man, Giant Man, and the Wasp kind of taking a leave of absence and leaving the Avengers in the hands of Captain America, along with new recruits, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. Now you might be thinking, well, Pete, that's not a very strong team, right? Because you got Captain America at this point in time, even though he's got the super soldier serum, no real powers, right, other than his abilities to fight and agility and all that stuff, and the shield. Quicksilver's got no powers. He's a great archer, right? Then you have Hawkeye is the archer. Quicksilver, of course, is he and Scarlet Witch, Wanda, and Pietro are the two mutants on the team. She, of course, has the Witch Hex and all those kind of cool powers, very powerful. And Quicksilver, of course, is like the Flash, like Marvel's answer to the Flash. So yeah, not the most formidable team in the world, but that is the team that they go forward with for a while. And then eventually you start to see Thor and Iron Man and Giant Man and the Wasp and them come back, right, along with new people. Eventually, Hercules joins up in the not-too-distant future, right, to get another strong person on there. But let's take a look at the inside of this issue. So, written by Stan Lee, layouts by Jack Kirby, art by Dick Ayers, and lettering by Artie Simek. I kind of like the Dick Ayers Jack Kirby combo here. I think they do a pretty good job. This is before Jack would start to do, Jack worked on the issue early on. Kirby would do some stuff on and off before he would move into full-time with Thor and Fantastic Four. And Dick Ayers would do a lot here. Then you'd have other artists that would kind of pop in for a bit on this book. But here, we'll take a look. I'm going to be very careful with this because this is an old one. So here you have kind of like a continuing of the story that began in issue number 15, where you had the Avengers fighting against the emissaries of evil, or the masters of evil, as they were called back here. And of course, that was Baron Zemo, along with the Melter, the First Black Knight, the Enchantress, and the Executioner. So, for those of you who remember the issue before here, Captain America and Rick Jones went and followed Baron Zemo off to South America and had a big battle with Zemo, whereas the rest of the Avengers, and that would be Giant Man, the Wasp, Thor, and Iron Man, went up against the other four that were left. So here's the kind of the finale of that battle, and then they're almost like fighting to a standstill, and they didn't want to get like all the bystanders involved here because there are a lot of people in New York City around. Thor utilized basically kind of a Hail Mary last-ditch effort to kind of end this battle, and what he did was he used his hammer to transport himself and his teammates along with two of the evil ones here, and that would be the Black Knight and the Melter, to another dimension. And when they transferred them to another dimension, they basically rendered their powers kind of null, and they were able to capture the both of them, bring them back into this dimension, and turn them over to the authorities. However, when all that happened, because they are gods, the Executioner and the Enchantress were not affected by what Thor was doing. They stayed behind here on Earth, but they kind of took off. They went back into hiding, so we don't really know exactly what happened to them. So after, so basically, I'll show you a little bit here. So let me go back a page because I don't think I really showed it. So basically, here's how that all went down. So then once they're in this under dimension, they go and they fairly easily handle the Black Knight and the Melter. And then we go to South America, where we find out that in issue number 15, apparently Baron Zemo was killed in the battle with Captain America, so he is there burying him. We know that doesn't really stick, right? And then, of course, they get attacked by some of Zemo's German forces. They overcome them, and they want to make their way back to Avengers headquarters. Meanwhile, back at Avengers headquarters, you've got the rest of the folks. Thor has already gone back. He went back to Asgard. And you have Iron Man, the Wasp, and Giant Man basically talking how exhausted they are and how they really need a break. So they start talking about how they want to take a leave of absence. They're not really sure what Thor is doing. They want to wait for Captain America to come back so they can say, hey, we need to start recruiting some new people to kind of take over the active role in the Avengers while we take a break for a bit. So when all this happens, they get kind of attacked there, and Hawkeye shows up. Now, for those of you who know, Hawkeye showed up in Tales of Suspense and was an early foe of Iron Man. Well, he comes in to say, hey, I'm a good guy. I know we've had our differences in the past, but I want to come and put my hat in to go join up with the Avengers. So he basically meets up with them, and he tries to show them that he's on the up and up. And they basically say, well, okay, I think you've convinced us. He tells a little backstory about what happened with him and the Black Widow. And he's basically like, hey, I'm a good guy. I just want to fight on the good side, and I really want to be in this group. So they start to send out messages around. So they contact Atlantis, and they ask Prince Namor, the Submariner, if he had been interested in joining the Avengers, even though him and Iron Man have had lots of problems in the past. He declines. The message does get out to where Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are. They then talk about how that's something they would like to do. They're kind of wondering why they never joined up with the X-Men, right? So they make their way to New York. And here we see a little press conference, and they announce that Hawkeye is now a new member of the Avengers. We go back to Cap and Rick Jones trying to get back from South America. So that continues on. So eventually Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch meet up with Tony Stark, and the whole process of going and letting them join the Avengers now is underway. So meanwhile, finally, Cap and Rick get back to Avengers headquarters. They know there's all sorts of activity going on outside. What's going on? We're not going to go through the front door. I'm going to kind of get in another way and find out what is happening here. The rest of the Avengers are very happy to see them. So Cap then finds out that because Giant Man, Wasp, Thor, and Iron Man have seniority over him, they have decided they've decided to make the decision to allow the 3 new members in, and then they let Cap know that he is now going to be basically in charge because they're taking a leave of absence. So he's like, oh my God, you're leaving? It's like, no, we're not leaving. We're just taking a leave of absence. We'll always be Avengers, but you now going forward will be the de facto leader. And here you have, so the message starts to get out. You see this panel over here, we have a lot of the foes of the Avengers thinking, oh, they're going to be, you got Kang and Mole Man and the Enchantress Executioner. It's like, oh, we'll have to strike soon now that they're at their weakest, right? So they get ready to go meet the press. Iron Man's kind of having some second thoughts. He's like, I'm going to miss this. I'm always going to be an Avenger, but I'm going to miss this. But I've got stuff to attend to. And then the next page, basically you have the new lineup of the Avengers. Again, Cap, Wanda, Pietro, and Hawkeye. And one of the things they are going to try and do, they're like, the Hulk was a member of our original team. We would still love to have him on the team. We need to go find him and see if we can convince him to come back into the fold. And that's kind of where the next issue goes, the search for the Hulk. Meanwhile, you're looking at these 4. How much, how well are they going to be able to go and wrangle the Hulk and get him into the ranks once again? I don't know. If you know the history of the Avengers, the Hulk and the Avengers pretty much is not a go anymore from there. So the rest of the issue, we got some other ads for more issues and things. Always love these. Interesting how in this issue they're all show the covers in black and white. And Marvel bullpen, and then of course the readers page and the back page. So there you have it. Avengers number 16, a classic. The new lineup of the Avengers, Avengers Assemble, a pretty noteworthy issue, right? Because anytime you have a brand new lineup of the Avengers being announced in an issue, that's whether it's really a key or not necessarily, but it's a pretty important issue. So there you have it. If you've got this one already, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Otherwise, if it's something you may want to go check out, you can go find these out in the wild. It's amazing how many of these you can find out there. Some of them are very pricey, some are not too bad, but 1965. Long time ago, before I was even born. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to get alerted for all of our content as a post, and please hit the like button before you leave. Also down below there, we got the links to the Sea Tranquility merch page where you can get yourself a comic book user shirt, help support the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you soon, right? Thanks for your patience with us. We will try to bring you content when we can. It might be, this hasn't been a great year for comic book users. There's a lot going on, and it's just hard to get together and record stuff, and even just doing solo shows for me is kind of difficult. So but I'm trying to do it when I can. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate your love and patience, and we'll see you soon. I am Pete Pardo from Comic Book Users and for Wild Bill. We'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.